There is a simple adage in Hollywood when spending billions to make what usually amounts to average entertainment fare. Always have a backup plan and always be prepared to replace your leading star in case the accidental or the stupid happens. Lessons it would seem Hollywood Democrats have taken to heart in light of Hillary Clinton's recent nuisance. And in this case, there may be no need to hold a casting call to find her replacement. Our guest is Republican strategist and nationally recognized pollster, president and CEO of the polling company WomanTrend. Let's welcome Kellyanne Conway to MidPoint. Kellyanne, thanks for being here today.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Hi.
Hi. We always hear that when it comes down to Hollywood, those liberals, boy, they just love to shovel money at candidates. And I'm looking here at people like Mark Ruffalo, Edward Norton, Susan Sarandon, Matt Bomer, Darren Aronofsky. They're all big right now. They want to make sure that Hillary Clinton gets into office. Maybe they need to hold their money a little bit, Kellyanne?
Well, or they need to double their contributions. You know, there's nothing preventing some of these big money people from giving to multiple candidates, and you may see that this time. You may see them hedging their bets, realizing that Hillary is not a sure thing, and they want to, of course, prevent a Republican from being elected. And I thought the last couple of days' articles about Hollywood freezing up and running scared, given Mrs. Clinton's horrible appearance in her press conference, that I thought these articles were really fascinating because they say, look, we just basically want a liberal. So we want to make sure Republican doesn't get in. I don't know why they think the model of an inexperienced first-term senator works so well. We had that in President Obama. I guess they want it in President Warren. But after Hillary's press conference, you have a lot of Democrats, including in Hollywood, running scared. She was unspeakably unprepared, was reading from a binder and even then flubbed her lines, and just looked very racked with self-doubt, quite unpresidential, and they're worried in Hollywood.
Kellyanne, why do Hollywood actors, producers, the glitterati as I call them, wield so much power when it comes to getting a Democratic or any sort of political candidate?
Because they have immediate access to visual press, right? So they're already a big name. They're already a big name in something that has to do with electronic media, movies, television, and such, maybe the recording industry. And so they basically turn a key. They've got a ready-made delivery system that allows them to connect their political intentions and donations with the larger population.
Is it fair to say that right now, sitting in Hollywood, people like, and I'm going to read off, here, I'm going to name drop a few more of these people right now who are getting involved. Norman Lear, I mentioned Susan Sarandon, Edward Norton, Darren Aronofsky, okay, but Norman Lear is the one that comes right up here. All these people, fair to say that right now they're sitting there going, we want Elizabeth Warren, that's our plan B.
Well, they sure do, because she's not just a Democrat. She's a progressive liberal in the mold of them.
And she's safe. But she's safe, though, isn't that it? And there's no real dark side to her at this point.
Well, that's what we know of, and that's the whole point, isn't it? The magic of Barack Obama in 2007, so this time 8 years ago, was that, as Teddy Kennedy famously told him, run now before you have a record, before they can hold anything against you. You know, that was recited in the book Game Change. The same thing would happen with Elizabeth Warren. She's safer because there's less of a record, certainly not the 30 years of drama that comes with Hillary Clinton, all that baggage, all those fiefdoms. But they're making a mistake in thinking the rest of the country is like that in Hollywood. They may wield the money and they may have the loudest voices and the biggest megaphone, but they don't even live in swing states. New York, California, they're not even swing states. We know how they're going to vote by and large. The point being, a lot of Americans, well, everybody's vote counts one time, and they can wield some power within the Democratic primary system. But I think many people in this country really want a generational shift on the Republican side. They don't want all the drama that comes with the Clintons. And it's quite telling to me that the names that you've read, particularly the non-Norman Lear names that you read, they're very connected with the grassroots organizations on the left, like MoveOn.org.
Yes.
And the MoveOn.org group, those grassroots leaders are already not so ready for Hillary, very ready for Elizabeth Warren. They're trying to draft her into running. It's a real slap in Hillary's face. I think Hillary's approval ratings and the luster that she has among Democrats is going to start to wear now and thin, because even the cover of the New York Times this morning talks about how the Democrats have Hillary and nobody else, and how that's very fraught with peril for them, because if you literally have nobody sitting on the bench and your ace is injured or takes herself out of the game, what then?
Kellyanne, I want you just real quick, I've only got about 30 seconds left. Bill Carrick, Democratic strategist. You don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to figure out that all this controversy is being generated by the Republicans. Once this gets into a real campaign, none of this will be a big deal, quote unquote. Right or wrong?
He's wrong, and I'll tell you why. You can hardly blame the vast right-wing conspiracy for Hillary's unprepared, shockingly underwhelming performance. She did that all by herself, number one. Number two, the venerable Associated Press is the one that has sued the State Department to get access to Hillary Clinton's emails while she was there as secretary. They know she didn't comply with the law that very clearly states you have to keep a record of those emails. It's the AP, not just Fox News and Newsmax, asking for this stuff. I don't think the charges against the vast right, I don't think trying to say that this is just about sex or it's a vast right-wing conspiracy is after me and my husband's going to fly.
And there we go. We got to end it there. We're all out of time. Kellyanne Conway, thanks so much for joining us. We'll do it again. MidPoint will continue.